So, if you look at this question, we want to solve one problem on the energy profile. Consider the energy profile below, that is this profile here. The reactant started from here and the product is formed at this point. So the question is that we should determine the activation energy of the reaction and again the enthalpy change. To solve this question, activation energy simply means the height of the energy profile. So solution to the question, I, activation energy, it is the height of the energy profile. We have this as the apex here. The reaction started from energy 20 and the reaction is completed when the energy is 50. So the energy, the activation energy for the reaction will be equal to 50 minus 20. So that is 30 joule. That is how to determine activation energy. That's from where the reaction started, the reactant, until the place you have the curve. So the distance from here to here is the activation energy for that reaction. Then the II question says the enthalpy change. Enthalpy change of this reaction, which is delta H, is heat of product minus heat of reactant. The product in this case now is here. Then the reactant, the heat of the reactant is 20, while the heat of the product is 10. The heat of the product is 30, while the heat of the reactant is 20. So the difference between them will be 10. Delta H is heat of product minus heat of reactant. Since the heat of the product is 30 and the heat of the reactant is 20, so the enthalpy change will be 10 joule and it's going to be plus. Since it is plus now, this reaction is an endothermic reaction. So whenever a question comes under the energy profile, that is how to answer the question. Whether it is exothermic or endothermic, when you are looking for the activation energy, it's just the height of the energy profile. You are starting from the reactant, not the product. You are starting from the reactant till where you have the curve. The distance there is the activation energy. Then the enthalpy change is the distance between the product and the reactant, which you must say the heat of the product minus the heat of the reactant. When the heat of product is greater than the heat of the reactant, you get a positive number. Just like we have here, 30 is greater than 20. That's why we have plus 10. And in that case, the reaction is endothermic. But in a situation where the heat of the product is less than the heat of the reactant, you have a negative sign. And that negative sign shows exothermic reaction because heat is taken away from the system. Thank you so much. Remain blessed. If you have not subscribed before, you can hit the subscription button and also the bell there for you to get more videos. Thank you.